Yo, 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 yo. Oh, it's working. What up, Suki? What's up, Lizzie? How y'all doing? Hope you're doing good. I just finished a vocal session like 30 minutes ago, I want to say. I don't have a ton of time today. I'll probably stream roughly for like an hour. But I put some more layers on the song we were working on last time. So if you were here last time, we're gonna try to finish that track for Headcave. If you haven't heard it, then you'll get to hear it pretty much done. I think I have all the parts down that I need on this song to call it done, but you never know until you hear the full thing, right? So what's up, Gasoline Kiss? We are in here, back to the streaming. Feels good, man. Feels very, very good. Oh, yeah. It's been a kind of a busy day today. I have not changed out of my gym clothes since this morning. I came straight from the gym, did a recording session, and then I was like, oh, I should edit these, but I should stream, but I don't have time to shower and change. And I was like, screw it, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna try to hopefully get this song wrapped up in the next hour or so, and then I'm gonna have dinner. And then something I'm so excited about is my good friend Luca, who is a longtime manager for our band for My Ticket Home. He's in town. He's staying up in LA to visit some people for work. So I was like, dude, we gotta hang out. So he's got some time hopefully this evening after he finishes all his meetings with clients and stuff. So I'm gonna drive up and go get to see him. So my goal is to get all these edits done, get this track to pretty much finished state, and then I'll send it off to Nick, because I don't think he's heard any of this yet. I haven't sent him, I posted little snippets and stuff on Instagram, so he's heard those, but he hasn't heard the full thing yet. So we're gonna finish the edit on that. I'll send it over to him, and then hopefully that'll be, the song won't be done, because it always happens where I finish all of my parts, and then usually when he hears it for the first time with all of my vocals on it, he'll have some ideas and want to make some changes, whether it's him changing the instruments or us redoing the song structure, changing stuff like that. But usually the original first draft of the song is pretty close to how it stays. So we'll see. I have a good feeling about this one. I feel like it's a solid song, but I'm always curious to see what he's gonna say. So yeah, Gasoline Kiss says, is a song truly ever done? No, you just stop working on it. There's have you ever watched that Metallica documentary, Some Kind of Monster? If you've never seen it, it's really worth a watch. Our band has we always have a thing that we're whenever we're working on an album or in the studio a lot, we like to always have something on in the background. Usually it was Spinal Tap. When we were doing Unreal, I think we just had Spinal Tap just on a loop for the entire time. But for this last record we did, when we were at Derek's house recording, we had Some Kind of Monster on for I don't know, 4 days in a row. And man, if you've never seen it, it is so fucking surprisingly transparent for a band that big to let the cameras into a lot of these unflattering moments. But it's really funny, and there's a lot of great quotable lines, and Lars has one where he's talking about that exact thing. He's like, the song's never really done, you just have to stop working on it, man, so I don't know, just the fact that you said that made me think of that documentary. What's up, Mustache? I'm gonna call you, I should have said Spider instead. Mustache sounds so funny. Good to see you too, my friend. Good to see you too. So like I said, I have roughly a little over an hour or so I think I'm gonna get straight to Pro Tools here, and we'll kind of start playing some music and show you guys what we've been working on. So hopefully my hotkeys should be working. Oh yeah, look at that. I got all these mapped out on the keyboard so I can just boom, boom, boom. I'm so proud of that, man. All right. The cut's looking good. Yeah, no more long hair. I agree. I think, yeah, obviously, you know, I got a hat on right now, but I think in general, man, it's so much easier to style. I don't have to fucking like plan out, you know, a wash day or whatever. Like I don't have to worry about it. And I think like with, you know, me wanting to be more active and, you know, like, you know, getting out and running or going to the gym more often or whatever, like, you know, obviously you're sweating all the time. So man, it's so much fucking easier, dude. It's been, yeah, I'm glad I cut it too. Gasoline Kiss says, I used to have it on DVD, but lost it. It's definitely an interesting look at the inner workings of a band going through the internal struggles. I completely agree. Like, I think in a weird way, it made me like more of a fan of Metallica. I've always liked them, you know what I mean? But I don't know, something about like watching that and seeing, it's crazy to me how you can literally be at the top, right? Like you can be in the biggest band, you know, the biggest metal band of all time, basically, and you're still, you can still have, you know, like arguments with people or things that you're insecure about or stuff that gets on your nerves or gets under your skin or stuff that you're afraid to say, or, you know, like you still have a little bit of that fragility, you know what I mean? Like still wanting to be, you know, do people like me? Do people like our music? And it's like, you're fucking Metallica, dude. Like, what are you talking about? I can't believe you're even thinking this way. But it just shows, like, you know, like, it doesn't matter externally, whatever's going on. Like, a person's inner state is, you know, not always reflective of that, you know? And yeah, it was really interesting to watch. Really interesting documentary. Mustache said, Nick, do you have some beginner tips for someone who wants to start getting into it? Oh, getting fit. I would say, well, like, what are you looking to do, right? Like, if your goal is to like that you want to build muscle and start getting into strength training, then obviously, like, you know, lifting weights or going to the gym is going to be a great place to start. If you're someone who's trying to like lose weight, then you know, either walking on the treadmill, like incline walking is like the most effective way and like the easiest way to kind of like build a routine as far as like getting into cardio. Like running and jogging are good too, but they're like more high impact and a little bit more stress on your joints. And I think for me personally too, like I have never, only until recently have I like enjoyed running. I've always disliked it and I've avoided it, you know, only kind of done it when I had to. But if yeah, it like mainly depends on like which direction you're trying to go, right? If you're trying to gain mass, to gain muscle, then, you know, just any sort of resistance training, any type of weightlifting that you enjoy, you know, in the beginning, I don't think it really matters what it is in the beginning, as long as, you know, you're being safe and you don't get injured. But like the main thing is just building the habit and building, you know, the routine of going into the gym, or, you know, even if you're not going to the gym, if you're just working out at home, if you've got weights at home, or if you're doing body weight stuff, you know, there's really no right or wrong. It's mainly just kind of like flipping that switch in your head of like, oh, this is something that, you know, that I do now and I can do. And you know, you don't have to be like I remember when I first started, I was like nervous about it, because I was like, I don't know what exercises to do, or I don't know what any of this equipment does. And Lizzie's at the gym right now. Let's fucking go. I love it. Okay, so sorry, Mustache. Let me read the rest of what you said. You want to get more fit without losing weight. So like the main, think of it like two different pathways, right? Like when you're working out, or when you're doing any sort of exercise, that is like you're putting stress on the muscles, and then to compensate for that, your body realizes, all right, these muscles are being overworked, they're beyond what they can handle right now, we have to build them up. And so, well, if you get good sleep and if you eat well, your body will just naturally add to those places that you work out, right? So like if you focus on your arms will grow. If you focus on your legs will grow, right? Like just super broad strokes. And then think of your diet and your calories in and out as what determines what your body has to work with, right? So like if you think of it kind of like a balance sheet, like if you're balancing your budget, like a checkbook, if you eat more calories than you burn on like a weekly average, then you're going to gain weight. And if you're not working out, you're likely going to gain fat, because fat is like more efficient for your body to store. It's more energy efficient. It's easier. But if you're working out and putting stress on your muscles, your body goes, oh, top priority, we have to build this muscle because this muscle's fatigued. And so when you're in a surplus and you've been working out, that's when you start to build muscle. And like for me personally, like I was always a skinny guy trying to get bigger. So that was like kind of the route that I focused on, was like, all right, my goal is I want to get bigger, I want to gain muscle, I'm going to start weight training. Versus if there's a lot of people where their goal is that, oh, they actually just need to lose weight. And so for them, it's more about like calorie restriction and finding like healthy alternatives for the stuff that they like to eat, in addition to burning extra calories by doing some sort of cardio or physical activity. So just kind of roughly think of like, those are kind of like the two generic pathways. But what's really awesome in the beginning is, if you're relatively new to any sort of resistance training, then you can do what's called a recomposition, which is where your body can kind of burn fat and build muscle at the same time. And if you've ever heard the term like beginner gains or newbie gains, that's like this golden period where it's awesome that it's at the beginning, because I think it like helps people really get like hooked into any sort of fitness thing, because you see these bigger results quicker in the very beginning, and so you can actually like lose weight and build muscle at the very same time. And then the further down the road you get, you kind of start to slow down your progress, and you kind of taper off. Like I would say for me personally, like I probably haven't really changed my body composition that much in probably like the last 3 years or so. I'm kind of like at like a maintenance, whereas that's also because of like how much time I have to devote for it. I'm trying to pursue other things in my life, like work and music and other things, where I'm not going like super hard in the gym, but I have like a good routine where I can maintain. But yeah, man, I think like the biggest thing is just don't let yourself be intimidated by it. And I think that's like the biggest thing that keeps people away from it, is they think that like, oh, I'm not fit enough to go to the gym, which is like a total oxymoron, right? Like, and I felt that way too. Like I did home workouts for a little bit before I went to the gym for the first time, because I felt like, it's like how people think like, oh, I need to get a tan before I go on vacation. You're like, oh, I need a base layer before I go, get tan. I was like, I need a base before I go into the gym. But just try to like get that out of your head of like, usually like the people there are focused on themselves, and they're not worried about anybody else, and they're not going to bother you. And B, they're actually usually really friendly. Like everyone's there for the same reason. And I think like if you you're the biggest fear is what's in your own head. You know what I mean? So anyways, hopefully that makes sense. I know I was kind of rambling a little bit. I definitely don't consider myself like an expert or anything like that, but it's something that I've gotten into and tried to learn a lot about, kind of as I've done it. So, Gasling Kid said, here at Global Gym, we're better than you, and we know it, dude. I watched that movie the other day. It's so fucking funny. I think I think Ben Stiller is the best when he's a villain, and God, he's so good in that film, man. Him as that guy is so good. But yeah, man, Mustache, I would say, like, if you're interested, I would definitely like scope around on YouTube or on Instagram, like see if you can find like some inspiring people, or some influencers that you like their vibe, you like their their energy, their attitude. Just be careful of people trying to sell you shit. The fitness industry is like notorious for snake oil, and everybody's buy my program, buy this, buy that. Just the main thing is consistency is the number one most important thing. Consistency and having fun, because if you can enjoy it, you'll stick to it. If you don't enjoy it, you can force yourself to do it for a little while, but you're not going to stick to it long term. So yeah, that, if you have any other specific questions, just let me know. But like I said, I'm not an expert on that stuff at all. Gus from Breaking Bad. All right, we have a whole list here. Let's go. Step 1, make a habit out of it. Just go to the gym for X amount of times a week. Don't follow a program. Do what you know / enjoy. 100% agree. Step 2, explore and find what style of exercise is actually enjoyable for you. No one does what they don't like for a consistent period of time. Hard agree again. Step 3, connect with the community in that lane of fitness. You'll start to show up to the gym to see those people. 1000% agree. Like, I'm a fairly outgoing person, and so I'll kind of like be like meeting people and stuff at the gym, whereas a lot of people is just kind of like headphones on, leave me alone. And usually, man, like you'll see people that honestly look fucking intimidating, that are like way bigger than you, way stronger than you, and you might be like, oh, that dude's probably not very friendly, and almost 9 times out of 10 they're super cool, because they're just there for the same reasons as you, and they usually people are like welcome and friendly to someone who is new, especially if you have a good attitude. Yes, I agree with everything Gus said for sure. And if people don't know, Gus is his name is Nick, but I don't know why his username is Gus. He's one of my best friends, and we kind of got into the gym at the same time and have lifted together. And he's bigger than me now, so I take his advice for sure. Mustache also said, want to say Pure Default is a great record, and I'm so happy you guys released an album after so many years. Thank you so much, man. It is been really, really fun and empowering to be able to make our own music and self-release it, and like just take advantage of the power of the internet to just share it with people. So I agree, man. Thank you very much. What do you say? They're cool because they build confidence and they don't have anything to fear or an ego to protect. You're hotter though. See, don't listen to this guy. All right. Suki says LOL. Suki, I don't know if I feel like I've seen you on YouTube before. Do you have like bright red hair? I don't know if I'm trying to put a face to the name for everyone. What's up, Hand of Blood? Hello. You haven't missed anything yet, man. We haven't played any music. I've just been rambling about the gym. So ignore that. Speaking of, yeah, let's switch. Let's get to some tunes here. Mustache said, I feel like Pure Default combined Unreal and Strangers Only. That was the goal, man. That was the goal, is like take the ingredients that are working and just fucking, blend them all together. All right, let me pause the Spotify here. All right. So, hopefully you guys can see the screen. Let's see, make sure the plugins work. See if you can see this. Oh yeah, you can. I love it. All right, so if you saw the last stream that we did, this is a new tune we're working on for Headcave. This is the same song. I went through and did some more singing in the last chorus and just added a little bit more screams. But let's just play the beginning so everyone can hear it, so you can get a sense of like what the tempo is and what the vibe is, and then we'll start going through some of these vocals real quick. Let's go. Tell me how the levels are. I'm just gonna run it from the top.
You wanna keep tricking, or you wanna start pinching?
Oh yeah, here we go. Vocal for right here.
Finally face my fears and I'm standing as a victor. Are you getting the picture? I am the words your voice cannot speak. I am the truth your eyes cannot see. Many will try to say I'm still standing as a victor. Are you getting the picture? You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
This chorus, I have a couple layers I'm gonna add.
So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
All right, cool. I'm gonna pause it there because the chorus is the main part I want to focus on now. It's kind of like, it's a lower register melody, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like sitting back in the pocket and letting the instruments kind of stay energetic, which I really like. But because it's this lower range, I want to add just a little bit of like salt and pepper on the top with like these background harmonies that are doing like a little falsetto bit. So I'll show you, it'll make sense in a sec, but like basically I want to like give the illusion of a little bit of higher notes while still keeping that lower register as like the main part. So let me break out some of the stuff I was recording earlier today. Guitars sound chunky. Fuck yeah. Yeah, man. I'm working on this new mix for this new Headcave record, and I think I'm really happy with the guitars. Actually, I think the guitars are probably like the best aspect of it right now. I think the main thing that will really kind of like step it up is the drums. That's kind of like the main not point where we're lacking, but just thing that I think will make the biggest difference of kind of improving. So that's what we're working on. Suki said the chorus is catchy. That's good. That's the vibe I'm going for. You know, trying to have it be like this fun, like it's kind of like a pop-ish melody, but like the chorus is like still like kicking off and exciting, which I feel like the music, like Nick did a great job with these chords, so I'm super stoked there. Okay, real quick, I don't want to miss any of these questions. Mustache said, if you could understand, it's probably one of my favorite songs. I thank you so much. That's probably I'm really proud of that song. I'm really glad you like it. Hannah Blood said, has MTH ever thought about doing an EP with the vibe of the softer songs from Unreal? We haven't thought of that specifically, but we have thought about like, I don't want to use the word acoustic, you know what I mean? But like the idea of that is appealing to me, you know, like doing kind of like an MTV Unplugged type thing, you know? Whether or not it would be a full album or anything like that, I don't know, to be honest with you. The stuff that we're working on right now is still is more of the, you know, our usual thing of like, you know, heavy and catchy at the same time. So I think because we have songs and demos that we're already planning to use for a next record, those are going to be the focus. But I wouldn't rule it out, you know, something like that I think could be cool. Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies. Yeah, there's one song or a couple songs on the newer record that I think sort of lean into that a little bit. And there's one song called Oh, what is it called? Can't remember the names of my own songs now. I'll think of it. But there's one song where I snuck in some acoustic guitar layers in the chorus, and I don't think I told anybody, but I was trying to channel that type of energy. All right, I'm gonna listen to some of these vocals now. I had like a quick look at these before the stream just because I wanted to kind of like go faster. So we'll start with like this purplish one down here at the bottom. Oh, wait, hang on. It would help if you unmuted it. And here we go.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Okay, that's the low octave, my bad. So there's a couple ideas I had here. I had like a low octave and a high octave. Let's try this one.
Slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
It sounds funny on its own, but it's gonna be good.
So go and say what you like. Barely make a drop in the sea.
Alright, cool. Let's try
Slave
this.
to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. Barely make a drop in the sea.
So my goal with these is to like, I want you to feel them, not hear them, if that makes sense. So just bear with me. I'm gonna wait till it's in the mix. It's gonna be cool.
To your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. Barely make a drop in the sea. But only if you want it to be.
Not that one.
So go and say what you like. Barely make a drop in the sea.
I like the blue one. Okay, blue's good. Let's try this one.
To your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Okay,
You barely make a drop in the sea.
not bad. Let's do red.
But only if you want it to be.
It's okay.
So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
Ending's okay. Let's try pink.
To your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Pink's alright.
So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
Alright, cool. Alright, so let's take. I think it was. I can't remember which ones I liked. I'm gonna grab this one. Let's just throw them up here and find out. So again, think of these as like, these are gonna be layers. You know what I mean? It's gonna be something that you're just gonna kind of feel rather than like really try to like pull your ear away from the main melody. And I wanna like stack a lot of delay on that last note so that like when it's when there's these gaps between the vocals, I want there to be like this this tail that kind of trails off, and I think it'll help fill the gaps and make it interesting. So let me just make sure I didn't put these off time. Which track do I want to use? Let's try these two. Psycho Cat Rock said, did you have any vocal training before or after Unreal? You sound a lot more confident from this record on. No, definitely not. And it was a little bit of an interesting transition to go from, like, I sang a little bit on Strangers Only. I think I sang on maybe 2 or 3 songs, but only like a chorus here and there. And it was actually a little daunting because, like, I remember before we started that record, Derek was like, man, I don't think I really want to sing that much anymore. I think you should do it. And I was like, fuck, okay. Like, you know, that's, it's just like, yeah, I'm into that, you know what I mean? But fucking A, it's a lot of work. And I remember, dude, it was like, he said that, and then we were like just starting to write our first sort of ideas where I was going to sing the entire thing. you know, obviously like I had been, you know, the front man of the band or whatever, but like, you know, always having Derek there to take a chorus and to, you know, be like, you know, he's a better singer than me. And so I was like, it was a little nerve-wracking at first, especially because like, so he says that we are demoing out a couple ideas, and then right after that, we're going into this songwriting session with like, you know, kind of like this famous producer, and it's like this like demo trial thing that we're doing to try to get this label to sign us. And, you know, he's like this big time guy. And I got to sing in front of him and shit. And I was nervous, man. It was before Fred. So Fred, Mustache Fred Archambault is the one who did the vocals. You know, he did the whole album Unreal. But there was a little 3-song demo deal that we did with this other guy before we got signed to the label. And that was like, you know, my, you know, I mean, obviously like I had been the frontman of the bands and I had sang before. But it was definitely like, you know, we were trying to write these more melody driven songs and these more kind of like radio-esque songs. And, you know, now I have to sing the whole thing top to bottom. And so it was like, oh, okay, it's, you know, a lot to, you know, I was feeling it a little bit when we were in that recording session, but, you know, all came out for the better. And I think I learned a lot from those sessions, and definitely learned a lot from working with Fred and doing that record. So your question, did Fred help with the vocals? He absolutely did. By far the biggest thing is like him helping with harmonies. I am fucking god awful at harmonies. It's my worst thing. Like once I write a melody or hear a vocal melody, like I can't hear anything else. And so it's something I struggle with actually, and actually probably like I haven't really taken a hard effort to like dive into music theory or anything like that, but the thing that would make me do that is so that I could get better at choosing notes for harmonies and writing better harmonies, because it's like a weak point of mine. And Fred was so good at coming up with harmonies and stuff that I would never think of. And, you know, like if you sing it for me, okay, I can copy that. You know what I mean? Like, all right, sing me the harmony and I can copy that. But for me to just like hear it, no bueno. So speaking of, I'm about to show you the fucking harmonies that I'm working on right now. I think they're gonna be cool though. So let's go for it.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
You see what I'm saying? Like just
Go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
oh wait, I gotta mute that one. Hold on. Let's get a true test here. Actually, so sometimes what I like to do is like just solo the vocals only, just to get a sense of like see if they're working together, which I think that these are. So let's try this.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
One of those notes is a
So
little off.
go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
The ending note's a little off on that one. Let me check for a better one. And then I'm gonna put like a bunch of delay on those harmonies, because then it'll just be like, I just want it to float back there, you know, just give it a little bit of support, but not anything that should like pull your ear away from the melody, if that makes sense. And I fucking put this in the wrong place. So I think just this last note was off.
Like you drop in the sea.
Maybe it's...
In the sea.
Let's try this.
Go and say up in the sea.
Yeah, that feels better. Cool. Are these raw takes or is there a bit of tuning? So I have... This is how I tune my vocals. I've used a couple different plugins, but this is the one I've been using at the moment. This is the Waves one. So pretty slow, like 28 millisecond speed. The note transition, I've just left it at 50, now 49. But I try to get away with like the slowest I can possibly do on the speed. That's the speed, I think, is the thing that makes the biggest difference. If you go too fast, you get like the auto-tune sort of sound. So usually between 20 and 30 milliseconds is what I've found where it's like feels natural and but still helps. If it's like a bad take, that's not going to be enough to pull it back. And then there's also this one, which is another tune plugin. Actually, I think so. This is what I'm using on the lead vocal. I've been experimenting, so I think this is a Stephen Slate one. And I actually haven't looked at this in a minute. So okay, so this is 60% intensity, so not even 100% intensity. 60% sustain, and then again 28 milliseconds. As far as like how quickly it grabs. I used to use. There's a free one called like Melda, I want to say. I think I have, actually, let me see if I can find it. Actually, it might be this right here. Yeah, M Auto Pitch. So this is like, there's a free bundle of plugins from this company. I think it's M Audio. They have like a free bundle, and it was like one of the first auto-tune plugins that I got, and I just kept it. And I used this on every Headcave record. I used this on the My Ticket Home record, at pretty much these settings. Like 20 or like 30 is like my go-to setting on this. Maybe sometimes 20% if it's like the take needs some help and I don't want to re-sing it. But I'm pretty much, I kind of like the set it and forget it style of vocal tuning. I've never really enjoyed like going in and moving this note or moving that note. I have done some songs that way, like with proper Melodyne, and I think that is like, for sure, you're gonna get the cleanest results, you're gonna get the most transparent results. But for me personally, like, I already have an overactive brain. I feel like I don't want to give myself one more thing to just go in there and have to make perfect. I would way rather, either have to re-sing something or like comp the shit out of a vocal. So I kind of use the, I use the tune plugin as like a benchmark, you know what I mean? Of like, all right, this is like an unbiased, machine algorithm that's just going to tell me how close I was. And unless I have a take that I really, really love and there was something special in it that is like, oh, it just needs a little bit of pitch correction, where I'll go in and do something manually. But pretty much I like to just throw a setting on, set it, and forget it. And I don't record through that. Like when I'm hearing it in my headphones, I don't record through that. So like all my takes down here, while I'm recording, there's no tune on anything. And then when I bring it up to like the final track that it's going to live in is where the tune is. And I've been experimenting with some different ones. Like the reason I stopped using this M Auto Pitch, is because I think it has, it has like a little bit of a robotic, artificial sort of sound. And it's just something that I started to notice, like the more I used it. It's fine, it's not bad, but like it's, it's free, so like you can't complain. But I had like a trial of the Antares, their new one, and I used that on a couple songs, and it sounded so much more natural, and I was like, oh, okay, that free one's got to go. So I've been experimenting with, all right, let me see which ones I already have in my plugin bundles. So I have a Stephen Slate bundle that has this tuner in here, and I've never used this before until like the past couple songs, so I'm still learning it. But I like it so far. I think it sounds more natural than the M Audio one. And then I also have the Waves tune, which I was trying before this, and that is still on the background vocals because I just didn't go through and swap them out yet. But hopefully that all, answers any of your sort of, tuning questions. But yeah, I would like to, my goal is to, of course, like get to the point where I don't even know if it matters to be like, recording without tune. I think it's like there's a couple of songs that I've done that way where I felt really good about it. And then it's like, I don't know, it's like, if it's just a little bit and you're talking about like the record where like, it's just in a place where it's because it's so much under a microscope, and because like the other thing that I think matters is like, it also matters like the genre of music. Like if you're like, say on some of the MTH stuff where it's like kind of thrashy and like some of the guitars are a little bit out of tune, the bass isn't perfectly in tune, maybe we didn't tune our guitars between every single take, it feels very raw, it feels very live, then in those cases, I think then you have more wiggle room to be slightly sharp or flat and still have it sound good and feel like appropriate to the song, versus like something like Headcave where everything is very precise, like all the drums, all the guitar, like everything is very, very, like to the grid and very like sharp feeling, where then I think the imperfections in the vocal stand out more in a negative way. So I kind of try to treat the two a little bit different, actually. Like I will tune vocals slightly more aggressively on the Headcave stuff than I will on the MTH stuff, because MTH is like, we kind of want it to feel a little bit old school, a little more natural. And, Headcave is like very much like a modern sort of sounding project. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, sorry, I know I fucking talked a lot there. Let me see if I missed anything. Psycho Cat Rock says, do I know my vocal range? I definitely don't. I know roughly like on the higher end of things as far as like where I can start to like consistently hit notes, and if I go past that point is where it's not consistent. I think like usually, oh god, I'm gonna have to think about this. So A sharp, C. I don't even know if it's a high C or not though. I don't know the terms well, but I know like, so sometimes I used to write melodies on my bass, like on the higher strings, and so the 12th fret on the bass is an A sharp, and I can usually go to like a C or a C sharp above that, but those are very much like you're just gritting your teeth and going for it. You know what I mean? They're definitely not like the most consistent or the most controlled. But that's a great question. I think it's something that I'm personally actually really trying to work on right now, is having more like poise and like elegance with my singing, if that makes sense. Mustache said, wanted to say that I look at If You Can Understand as a spiritual successor to Time Kills Everything. I agree, man. It's kind of that same sort of groove. Yo, Marshall just subscribed to the channel. What's up, brother? Yes, Suki, so sorry. I do see your comments. So let me play just the harmonies for you to hear them. So these are these like falsetto stacks that are going to go behind the vocal here. So it's these ones right here.
Only if you want it to be.
Which sounds funny because it's falsetto, but it's going to be cool.
Barely make a drop in the sea.
So, with the melody, right? I just wanted to add some air and float back there.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
And then I'm actually gonna let's put a little bit of sauce on those. Let's try this flanger.
Slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Maybe no flanger, but let's do, I wanna put a throw on these. So this is kind of like in a little preset that I have. And the main reason I wanted to do these harmonies is because I want to extend this last note and have it feel like a little bit ethereal and kind of like, just have it float a little bit more. You know, I like the contrast of this vocal being a little bit sort of delicate and like almost like a little out of place with what the band is doing, with what the music's doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to automate this send right here, this throw, to this delay track that I have. And let's go down to... Sorry, let me just close my playlists here. So we'll go down to throw number 2. Let's see what this sounds like. And then we'll bring this up.
Slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
So you kind of just get this little floaty bit. And I actually think that these are just a little bit off pitch. Actually, some might find a better take. All right, I'm gonna put the music back in. Dun, dun, dun.
But only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
So you mean they almost disappear into the track, which is what I wanted. You know, I just want a little bit of support to them, and then I actually went and I sang those same exact notes, but in a lower register, and then we're gonna play around with like where they come and go. So like, let me show you this.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
So it's that same note progression, but an octave down.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Just a little pitchy there. Let me try this.
But only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Try these. So I'm going to bring these up to, I think I want these in stereo. So something you can play around with, like when you're mixing, you know, different layers of vocals, is like, do you want them to be like supporting the vocals stacked down the middle, or do you want them panned off to the sides? And I think what I want right now is I want more width. I want the vocal to feel bigger and to kind of like take up more space. So let's try these two.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it.
Actually, let me turn these up. They're just a little too low right here. Let's see what else is in this track. Let's just go -5 for now, just to hear these.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
I think they come up even more actually, because they're so low. I'm just gonna bring the fader up. I might clip gain these a little bit. Let's see.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Hey Suki, thank you. So even I think those low ones right there are actually doing a lot, right? Like it's a harmony, so it's a new note. It's making a chord, but I think they're like really helping to fill out and justify that higher octave.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
A little pitchy still. I'll get into that.
So go and say what you like. Your belly make a drop in the sea.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do actually, I had this thought while I was recording where right now I sang every single word, like I absolutely matched these. But I think I don't want it to do that. I think I only want it to be on certain ones. So let me show you what I mean.
Come say that shit to my face. You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
Yeah, okay, this is gonna be cool. So what I'm thinking is, I think it's just these first notes, like these kind of little lead-ins, like the your and the so. I just think we don't need them.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
See, like on this one, right? The lead vocal is saying so go, like so go and say, whereas I think I just want the harmony to come in on like say what you like, and it kind of has like this robotic, like very like I don't know, like something about like the harmony coming in right there makes that rhythm more significant, if that makes sense.
So go and say what you like. You'll barely make
Actually,
a drop.
I might even have it just be on the say. Like, let's try this.
So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
So it makes the background vocal, I think, a little bit more interesting rather than literally just tracking with every single word that I said.
Come say that shit to my face. You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
There's still a little pitchy parts in there, but that's okay.
So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
Swag. Okay, so we're just gonna go down and dirty today because I want to try to finish this. So I'm gonna copy this to next chorus. Something that Pro Tools does, which I fucking do not like, is like say you have this. I've got these bridge vocals right here, and I've got this chorus part, right? Say I want to copy like this stuff, and I go over here. Oh, it didn't do it. Okay, cool. I was worried it was gonna erase those. All right, let me go. Put these where they belong.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Put them in the right place.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Sweet. All right, that was down and dirty, but good enough. I like it. Let's do I have some vocals after this first chorus I want to get into. Let's do this.
Make a drop in the sea.
Grimoku, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. So I have these kind of like droney singing bits out of this chorus right here, and kind of want to have these go into the build up. So let me just kind of show you what I was feeling. There we go. Let's turn this down. Let's do these two. Sorry, I was trying to get the level. Let's do the purple one.
Suddenly, my fears and I'm standing as a victor. We're getting up.
Psycho Cat, these are... that's a great question. I didn't do the guitars. Obviously, I'm just doing the vocals. I think Nick is using the Quad Cortex right now. So I don't know where that falls in your category of real or amp sim. I mean, it's an amp sim, obviously, but it's hardware. I guess that's software. I don't know what you would call that, but I know he uses a lot of the neural DSP stuff. But I know he has a Quad Cortex that he really likes, and he's been using for some of his. He's used it for all of his shows, and I think he's using it on some of these, like the tracks in the studio. So that's a great question. Hit him up on Instagram and ask him at Nick DePiro. All right, folks, we have Twitch is gonna play ads in just a minute, so let me play these vocals real quick. All right, so my goal with those is they're gonna be like these background vocals that are happening. I'm gonna like put a bunch of delay on them and just kind of have them like, I want to create like a little bit of like a soup in the background of the second verse, and then have those screams that are kind of ramping up. Those will be underneath like the main scream that you know, the lead vocal that's already kind of in there. So while the ads are playing, I don't know if you guys will lose audio or not. If you're on YouTube, you'll still be able to hear everything, but I'll try to not do anything super cool or, you know, that you're gonna miss. So, all right, ads are about to play, but I'll see you guys when you get back. Okay. My YouTubers, what's up? What's up, Andy? It's going good, man. Going very, very good. We're trying to get this song edited before I gotta leave in a couple hours. So let me bring these two up. I'm going to just throw these in the background channel. Oh, that's weird. Why are you like that? Oh, okay. Watch that. Let's try that. Suddenly. I wonder if this is in the wrong key, because I feel like it's tuning the wrong thing. A sharp minor. A sharp natural minor. That should be right. Maybe I just suck. Okay, let's do. Let's go try the blue guy. Bring him up. Cool. I'm gonna try let's try with this flanger on. And suddenly yes sir. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of like making a whole new track to turn the flanger on, I'm just gonna automate it so that it'll be off for most of the song, but then it's just gonna click on just for this one section here. I think that'll be super cool. And then I'm also going to throw a bunch of delay on this because I think it'll be heavy. Let's do like just here. It's gonna be cool. Gonna be cool. And actually, let's just keep the delay up. See how long we have on ads. Oh, ads are back. All right, sweet. All right, everyone's back. We love it. All right, let's play this post-chorus real quick. All I did was just pulled a few takes up top, and I automated this tape flanger right here. So I'll show you what that sounds like in a second. Let's just hear the delay. I think they can come up a little bit, but they're feeling cool. I think there's still a little pitchiness in these, but we'll just go with it for now. I actually think the delay can come up too. I want it to be like really, really soupy. That's too high, but you see what I'm saying, where it just gets like eerie. Back for a little context here. Let me see if this works. Nicole, what's up? Dude. Do you guys remember that meme? Dude. I haven't thought about that in a fucking long time. Suki, you think they should come up? All right, let's tuck them up here a little bit. Let's go 4. I have a problem, I think, with stuff having to be like even numbers, where it's like it doesn't matter, but my brain thinks that it does. I think actually we just need these first ones to come up just a touch. It's gonna work. The Tool riff is lit, I know, dude. I think this is like, this section, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I've posted this section like a million fucking times because I think it's so cool. Like, dude, Nick fucking knocked it out of the park with this riff. Like, it's so, like, it's not on paper the heaviest riff, you know what I mean? Like, he's doing like these little hammer-ons and it's like kind of melodic, you know, it's staying in the key of the song. But like, dude, something about this fucking groove. Like, let me mute the vocals and just, it's such a perfect like post-chorus build. Oh man. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, it's fucking, fucking gets me. What's that fucking, what's that line from the Eastbound and Down? I feel it down in my plums. I can feel it deep in my plums. If you've never seen the outtakes from Eastbound and Down, fucking Will Ferrell doing that. Like, can't get through the take because he's fucking laughing so much. I feel it down in my plums. That's how I feel about this riff. Psycho Rock said the bridge riff sounds like some Dark Forest Ritual. Dude, I don't think I've listened to that band. Dark Forest Ritual, okay. Nicole said, does guitar apply to a master chain to the instrumental before sending to you? It sounds pretty glued together. So no. Normally, yes. But this is... this session is like a little bit of a mishmash. So this is like my vocal recording session, but this is also the mix template that I've been using on some of these new songs. So like for the album that we're working on, we're trying to step up the mix a little bit compared to what we've done in the past. So this is actually my mix with like my master chain and my stems. Let me see if I can solo. So this right here is the demo as Nick bounced it. So I'll play this. So that's what he sent me. And then I have like all of his stems and then like my mix and my master processing and everything. So then this is mine. So it's like, it's all the same DNA, but like because the drums are MIDI, we can experiment with like new drum plugins and stuff. And I did a little bit of stuff on his guitar. But yeah, just trying to make it competitive, you know what I mean? Like music is so fucking loud these days and people are so good at like pushing these mixes and making stuff feel really loud. And that's something I've always personally struggled with. So I've been trying to step my game up, you know, trying to make this record when we have it done, you know, really sound, you know, professional. And I think for us, like the biggest places I think we can make the biggest difference are like the drum, you know, the drum tones overall, the drum performances, you know, how tastefully we can program the MIDI, and then like the master bus chain and everything like that. So that's what I'm trying to step up. But I'm doing a little, I'm breaking the rules a little bit because I'm recording vocals in the same session that I'm mixing in. So it's a little messy at the moment, but it is what it is. So I actually have another vocal for this little post-chorus section. It's the same suddenly little bit, but it's just a harmony of that. So I want to see if this is too much or if it flows, if it fits good. Let's hear this. It would help if I unmuted the vocal chain. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn these up a little bit because you can't actually hear them. Oh, whoops. Let's do... Actually, let me just copy these. Let's try this. I like them, but it's too loud. I'm just gonna bring it down a touch. Let's go -5. I'm sorry, Suki. I'm just tucking these a tiny bit. Just step in the tune, just a little bit. Rugga is now following. Thank you, man. Or miss. I have no clue from your username, but thank you for following. Rugga. Sick. Okay, let me remember what else I have to do. Let's do this last chorus. Song sounds tasty. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so the main chunk of what I want to make sounding good is this last chorus. So what I did for this last chorus is I took the like the higher harmony range that I was singing falsetto, and I'm gonna sub that in now as the lead melody. So let me just kind of find where these takes are, and we'll swap some of these vocals in. This is the problem. This is the only thing about this is like when you as you're writing this stuff and making it up as you go, you end up with a lot of fucking tracks, and I forget sometimes where I recorded stuff. I'm like, here we go. Okay, cool. Yo, Alec975, thank you so much for the sub. Alec, is that you? Is that my homie Alec? If it is, thank you, man. Thank you for the sub. I hope it was a Twitch Prime so that it was free. It's you. Yeah, bro. Alec is one of my great friends. We met in Nashville when we were both at Blackbird, and he lives in LA and is an awesome fucking record producer. Oh, you got the Prime? That's right, dude. Yes. Thank you so much, man. Well, I'm glad I earned it, man. I'm glad you think I'm worthy of your Prime. Dude, you've been posting some fucking serious numbers, dude. He's I don't know, Alec, how would you describe your style? I would say you're like a alternative indie R&B, a little bit of funk, a little bit of soul, a little bit of pop. As far as like your music style of stuff that you typically work on, I don't know, but you were posting whatever you posted on Instagram the other day, man, of all your streams. Was fucking exciting to see, man. The dude is killing it. He's an awesome engineer, and an awesome producer, and a dear friend. So all right, let me not embarrass myself now that Alex here. Okay, fuck guys. All right, let me play. Let's find something. I know, he's got me blushing, dude. Fucking A. God, Jesus. Okay. That was not bad. Let's try this top one. Close. I think there's like two vocals happening at the same time right now, though. Yeah, let me fucking... so I sang these the other day when I wrote them, and then I was like, I should re-sing those. I think I can do it better. So when you're auditioning vocals, it helps to not have two of them playing at the same time. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna duplicate our playlists, and then gone. All right. Yeah, okay, Suki, so you get it, right? It's the same harmony from that little falsetto bit, but now because it's the last chorus, we're gonna sing it full on. So here we go. Eric the Maestro, what's up? Thank you so much. I feel like I recognize you from when I was streaming a while ago, but good to see you, man. Raymond D says, quick question. I was listening back to the song Down Life. Was the band Fuel an influence in your music journey? Yes, I really like Fuel. I don't know if they are. That's an influence because that dude, Brett Scallion is an awesome fucking singer. Really, really cool dude. As a front man and as a vocalist, I think he's awesome, and I think the band is really, really good too. Like, actually, I would say I'm more into them like within the past few years than I was whenever we were making the the record in 2017, Unreal. I think I got more into them afterwards. Like I found, like I always knew of the band and, you know, knew their bigger singles and stuff. But I think that they have like better songs in their discography and kind of in their back catalog than their singles. So I think that kind of made me more of a fan of them, and they're really fun songs to sing. Like actually I'll often, like when I'm doing my vocal warm-ups and stuff, like I'll go through my warm-up exercises, and then I like to like sing a few songs and just kind of get the endorphins flowing a little bit. And Fuel Stuff is really fun to sing. Like, dude, that song Bittersweet, that song's fucking awesome. Yeah, Bittersweet is a great track. So that's cool that you asked that. Okay, let's hear hopefully these takes a little more clearly. I'm gonna start on this bottom one right here, the pink one, or no, it's like blue and red.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
I'm gonna turn this track up slightly so we can hear this better. All right, let's go again.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Good, a little pitchy. Let's go.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
I'm just gonna kind of listen to these back to back.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Tough choice.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
All right, so I think the bottom three are my favorites. I think I'm just gonna grab these two for now, and then usually like I will just kind of go off my first instinct, like pick the takes that I like the most, and then kind of like as I listen to the song more, you know, as I kind of go through, little stuff will start to jump out at me, and you know, I'll hear things that I consider like a mistake or that I want to change. So just for now, I'm just gonna stack these up here and see how we go. Rockstar, thank you so much for the sub, brother. What's up? I feel like I remember you as well from when we used to stream. But we're coming back, dude. It's great. Great stuff. Thank you very much. All right, yeah, let's just check this first line right here. So top track's the lead, bottom track is like my double, and there's roughly like a 10 dB difference or so between the two.
You're a slave to your mind, but
Gotta mute the other track, sorry y'all.
you're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Okay, so I like the second half, but not the first half. I think because this first half comes in and there's a gap where there's no drums, I kind of want the first half to be like a little bit more controlled and a little bit more calm, and then on the only if you want it, like I want that to kind of like punch a little bit. So let's see if the pink is better.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Nice. And then the other thing I'm hearing is this little B at the end. It just wasn't. Let's just try this one.
If you want it to be.
Cool. That feels better. Rockstar, yeah, I've been working on trying to make the stream better, man. I think what's going to be the coolest thing, which if you guys have been on the streams, I've probably chewed your ear off about this, but I got the setup in the vocal booth. Like actually here, check this out. If I go, oh yeah, the camera's live right now. And then I can do all the same scenes in there. So we can be like recording as we stream, or like streaming as we record. It's gonna be so sick, man. Yeah, I'm super stoked, because then it'll be like I'll be able to literally just do, you know, the whole process, and like I can like film Instagram clips and stuff, you know, while I'm singing, and I don't have to set up, you know, like 2 other cameras, and yeah, it's a whole thing. So I knew that was Lord of the Rings in the background, dude. You're too far gone. That's absolutely right. I think this is Fellowship right now. Dude, I gotta watch because like I'll put stuff on the TV, like so if you see in the wide shot, right? Like I'll put stuff on the TV and I'll just have stuff in the background that I was watching, and I'll forget that like you can see that in the stream, and so like, you know, if it's anything rated R, like I gotta fucking worry about, you know, like nudity or violence or whatever on the. I don't think violence matters, but you know, there's been a couple times where like, you know, some of these unrated versions, you know, that are on Apple TV or whatever, or HBO, are not stream appropriate. So I gotta think about what's on the TV, man. It's funny. Eric, yeah, that's the goal, man. Whole process. So, like I said, I'm working my way up to, you know, to doing the like the vocal recordings while we stream. But I've seen a lot of these other guys doing it where it's really fucking cool. Like obviously, like the dude from Trivium is like, you know, just ridiculously good at streaming, like while he's recording or rehearsing. You know, Craig Reynolds from Downbeat, like he streams while he practices. Dude, fucking Wiz Khalifa streams a lot and like streams his whole, you know, like songwriting process, and it's sick, dude. He has like a 5 or 6 cameras set up in his home studio, and like he's got his Pro Tools engineer in there doing stuff while he's recording, and yeah, it's just something that like I've seen other people do and I think is really cool. So I'm trying to like, you know, trying to carve out my own version of that, if that makes sense. Can't wait till this project drops. Straight to the hyperbolic chamber with the Super Saiyan level. Let's go, man. Yeah, we're gonna do a full record, man. We've got almost everything done. I'd say this song and maybe 2 more after this, and we'll be set. So, speaking of, let's get back to these vocals. I'm gonna just kind of listen through the rest of this chorus here. Sorry, gotta unmute. Here we go.
So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
Alright, so that takes good, but it's actually a little late. So if you hear like these first couple lines are just a little bit like too behind the beat.
So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
Like to say what you like. So something that I really love about Pro Tools, and I use this all the time, is there's this little nudge that you can do. So if you see up in the top right here where my mouse is, you can set this to you know, any sort of like millisecond value that you want. You can type in a custom thing, and then you just use the little arrow keys, and dude, you can just get in here and like ever so delicately nudge stuff around, and it's like it's so intuitive and easy, and I really love it. I spend a lot of time, you know, nudging stuff around, you know, a little chop here, a little nudge there, and then you just kind of go in and clean it up with your crossfades at the end. It's great. I love doing that more than just trying to like drag with the mouse.
So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
So see, like that little tiny nudge made that take probably going to be the lead. So all right, let's try the yellow.
So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
See, this one's late too. I think I was, I don't know, being lazy. These are just a little behind the beat. Let's try this.
So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
Not bad. That was a good option too. Let's try purple.
So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
I like the ending, but I think these other takes are better. So let's grab these for now and bring them on up. So what I have right now is I have this blue take is the old double track from the first time that I sang this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace everything with the new takes from today. And then if at any point I want to reference the old version, I can just go up and here's what I sang, on the very first day that I tried it versus the stuff that we just tracked right now. So that's what I think is like, people ask me, oh, which DAW do you like for whatever reason? Like, I know they all do this, but the way it is in Pro Tools, I feel is really intuitive. So that's kind of like one of my favorite things about tracking vocals in Pro Tools. Roll the Paul, thank you so much for following, my friend. Good to see you. Alex said, I saw Bluey on that TV in the background once. What was that about? Saw Bluey? What's Bluey? I don't know what Bluey is. Yeah, luckily nothing in Lord of the Rings is too bad, risky wise. Rockstar said, tell me about this booth. Did I build it? Is it hotter than hell in there? So, no, I did not build it. I should do a whole video about the booth because the booth is so sweet. But it is, if you want to look it up, it is not a vocal booth for like recording music. They have these custom phone booths that are made for like these like hipster tech company offices, where like picture like it's some swanky downtown loft office building where it's like one big open room and everybody works together. There's no cubicles, there's no offices, kind of like these modern tech companies like to have these buildings this way. And then there's nowhere for them to take private phone calls or to have any sort of private meetings. So then these companies started making these privacy booths or these phone booths that are basically just like an awesome fucking vocal booth that looks, aesthetic and looks cool. And so I was like looking at some of these and I was finding a ton of them on like Facebook and Craigslist because I live in LA and there's all these tech companies around, San Diego, San Francisco, and in LA where they'll buy a lot of these booths and then they'll, end up selling them for whatever reason, or they move offices or whatever it is. Hopefully that car is not too loud. And dude, I got an awesome fucking deal on this one. It wasn't from like a tech company or anything like that. It was actually from this woman who lived in Long Beach. She was a voice actress and she had one. It was only like 15 minutes down the road from me. And dude, I got a great price on it. It was in great shape. So if you want to see it, look up, they're called Room is the name of this company, ROOM. And look up like room phone booth or room privacy booth or whatever it is. And you'll probably find the exact one that I have. And like any type of like pro-made vocal booth is really expensive. And these types of like privacy booths are really expensive because they're made for like these bigger tech companies and stuff. But I was really lucky to find this one used. And this lady was selling it. They were only like 15 minutes down the road in Long Beach. It fits perfectly in my space, and I really wanted to go the vocal booth route because I was like, all right, if I get this set up like dialed in and just the way I like it, then anytime I move apartments or if I want to, anytime I relocate, if I move somewhere else, I don't have to fucking tear all the paint off the walls and rebuild the whole thing from scratch. I can just take my booth with me and basically have this same exact sort of setup. But I do need to improve the circulation. There's a fan in the top of it, and that pulls all the air through, so you don't get super hot in there. It's not too bad. But the lady who owned it before me, she was a voice actress, and she had this really soft, delicate voice, and so they changed the fan in there. They put their own fan in that was like a custom like low noise, really quiet model, because she had this really delicate voice, and she would like, she's a voice actress, so she's very soft spoken. So for my purposes, it fucking sucks because I'm like, no, I want high powered fan. I am literally screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm not worried about a little bit of fan noise. I need circulation, so I need to upgrade it. But it's all put together right now, so I don't want to fucking have to take the top off to do that, but something I need to do at some point. All right, cool. I got a couple more questions. Let's see. Roller Paul said, "Hey Nick, you're fucking awesome, man. I've been listening to My Ticket Home since the first album back in the post-hardcore era, dude. That's an OG fan right there. If anyone wants to hear how bad my band was when we first started, just look up My Ticket Home, Above the Great City. It's our very first EP that we made in high school. So if you go back that far, dude, that is OG. But thank you, man. I appreciate you." Raymond D says, any vocal techniques that you do? I have been trying to take warming up more seriously in the past few months. So I do have a vocal warm up series that like I got from the Melissa Cross DVD, and that's pretty helpful. It's like a bunch of these different like warm up exercises, and it's kind of like it's more of a mental routine, or I'd say it's like 50-50, where it's like the benefits are obviously you're warming your voice up, but the other real main benefit is like you're getting your mind ready to sing and have a good session. But as far as like screaming techniques or singing techniques, I'm very much like self-taught, and it's something I actually want to I think I have a lot of room for improvement on. So it's a reason why I don't make a lot of comments of like how to sing or how to scream, because I feel like I don't really know what I'm doing very well. And so I think I need to educate myself a little bit more before I would want to kind of like give other people advice. So I'll have to get back to you on that once I kind of like learn some new stuff. All right, so let's see. We have first half's done, and then this is a double chorus. So let's listen to the rest of this here. All right, here we go.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Okay, didn't quite get that.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Closer. Let's do purple.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Purple is on. Purple it is. Yeah, Eric said, was there a new record? Oh, bro, before A New Breed, yes. So A New Breed was a single from our second album. So that's our first full-length album, has that song on it. And then before that, there's the EP called The Opportunity to Be, which was the EP that got us signed with Rise Records. And that one's not like embarrassing. I actually think that one is like maybe better than To Create a Cure. I'm not sure. But it's very much of its time. You can tell that we're young. Above the Great City is like, that's like straight up local band era, dude. It's great.
You're a slave to your mind.
Sorry. Here we go.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Cool. That's feeling good. Rockstar said, what about the random scream on the post on Insta? It's not part of the warm-up. It's not, and it's still in here. Look, check it out. Here she is. It's in the song, actually. So it's it goes, it's right here in this breakdown. I extended it slightly, so you'll see like this is the original, and I just wanted it to last just a tiny bit longer. And then there's like a low. Let me just play you this because it's fucking ridiculous, but I thought it was cool. Right here. They're just like two ad libs together that don't really make sense, but I thought it was cool. I'm kind of into this like thing of like randomly putting lows in places where they don't make sense. I don't know if Nick's gonna like it, but I think it's kind of fucking cool. Like, I've been seeing a lot of these bands that are kind of similar to Headcave, like they're mixing like pop and like kind of like deathcore type stuff. Like the first one I think of is like Sachi 6, and it'll be like, you know, some sort of like pop melody and then just like random ass gutturals. It's almost like they're almost like memeing, but it's somehow I just kind of, I don't know, I kind of like it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's what this is. And it's, I don't know, it's just kind of fucking fun to do. Travis said Sache 6 is fucking sick. I agree, man. They I think they're fucking cool. Dude's a really good vocalist. They write pretty sick riffs, and I feel like they do a good job of like making the genre blending is like just doing that just for the sake of doing it is like, okay, whatever. Like the only thing that matters is, do you have a good song, right? Like if you genre blend and do these crazy, like, you know, what would be stereotypically considered to be like opposing styles, right? Like R&B and deathcore or whatever. But if you write good songs and I believe you when you flow into each section, then, you know, I don't think there's any rules, you know, where stuff can't work together, especially not these days. And I think they do a great job. They're super cool and write great parts. So I agree with you. I have not listened to their full record yet. I've only kind of like floated around with some of the stuff that I've heard on YouTube, but everything that I've heard, I thought was pretty fucking sweet. All right, we got one line in this chorus left. I'm talking too much. Let's get to it. I think it is, where did she go? These. Okay, here we go. Let's do this one. I keep muting, sorry. My bad. Here we go.
So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
Solid. Let's do yellow.
So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
Yellow might be the winner. That felt good. Let's do purple.
So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
Ooh, I like the second half. The brown take is good. Let me listen to this one again.
So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
Yeah, I think brown might be better.
Say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
Let's go. Hyped. Let's bring these up. Oh, you can't see. I'm so sorry. There we go. Thank you. I was rambling. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's the only thing about I only have one screen when I'm streaming, or like in my house. So it's a little, sometimes I because I can't see what you see. So sometimes I'll forget. My bad. But thank you, Suki. All right. Let's listen to this chorus top to bottom, yeah?
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
Sweet. I'm actually gonna switch these endings, I think. Would I ever dive into a gent type project? I mean, I think Headcave is flirting with that line a little bit, right? I don't know. Would you guys describe? Do you think we get genty? I kind of think there's. I mean, it's an 8-string. There's some prog, bendy riffs and stuff in there. Let me listen to this again.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and
gonna swap the yellow real quick. I want to hear this.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Purple is better for sure. All right, and then, yeah, Psycho Cat. I agree. I think Headcave's kind of genty. And then I have some screams to like fill in this gap, which I think will be hopefully pretty tough. Because I want this last chorus to really be like fucking kind of just feel like a party, you know what I mean? Like everything's just kicking off and there's fucking screams in the background, and you know, it's just like you're just headbanging super hard. So let's see what this sounds like.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. Tell me, can you have a voice in the static? So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my fears and what the facts are. Or you trying to obsess? You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. But you got a taste and now you're an addict. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my fears and what the facts are. Or you trying to picture?
All right, so I'm gonna trim those at the end. But so the main idea I have for this line in the middle here, right? Let me play one of these again.
You want it to be. Tell me, can you have a voice in the static? So go.
So I'm gonna do like a delay throw on that because I want it to be like, tell me, can you hear my voice in the static? So I'm gonna do like a little quarter note delay throw on that. I think it'll be really hard.
But only if you want it to be. Tell me, can you have a voice in the static? So go and say.
You know what I mean? Kind of like running all the way to the next line. So let me just listen through some of these.
Tell me, can you have a voice in the static? So go and say what you like. Tell me, can you have a voice in the static? So
Fuck yeah, these are good.
tell me, can you have a voice in the static? So go.
What up, Charlie? Thank you for the follow. Charlie Crockett, let's go. Let's go.
Tell me, can you have a voice in the static? So go and say what
I think the purple and the maroon are my favorites. Let's hear these again.
Tell me, can you have a voice in the static? So
Right, so I think with the delay, it's gonna be so hard. Like, tell me, can you hear my voice in the static? So let's try that. Let's. I think I'm gonna try this one first. God, I have so many tracks. Let's just throw it on the main real quick.
but only if you want it to be. So can you have a voice in the static? So
I think I want to try the other one actually. Let's try this one. We'll see which one's better. It'll be obvious once we get the delay right, because the static like that, the exact enunciation on that word will kind of change how this feels.
only if you want it to be. So can you have a voice in the static?
Yeah, I like that one. So there's two ways I can do this. I can either do a proper delay channel with like a throw, which I might do, or I can do like this other cheater way where you just literally copy it, and it's kind of cool because you can literally just put it exactly on beat where you want it. So let me just kind of audition this and see how this feels. Because sometimes this actually gets the result that I want like a little more clearly. And sometimes I'll combine like manually copying the line with a delay throw as well. So let's just kind of hear how this goes. Okay, we only need 3, and I need to turn them up slightly, but it does sound cool. Let's try in this track.
Have a voice in the static.
I gotta get the cut better because we're losing the S's. Let's try. This doesn't have to be to the grid. I'm just using the 16th note grid because it'll just make this easier to do faster for you guys. Actually, let's chop this. Static! You see what I'm saying? It'll be like right on the beat. So that's the rough idea. I'm gonna, you know, then from there you can play with, you know, exactly if it's, you know, panning a certain way, or, you know, I'll probably mess with the throw and stuff. But like I said, I want to go quick. It's already 6 o'clock, so I think I'll probably just stick with that for now, and we'll just see how it feels as we go. Let's see. Roll the Paul said, Nick, back in 2015, around June, August, I posted some videos on the My Ticket Home Facebook page showing the recording process for songs that were never released. Will they ever come out? One of those unreleased tracks features Derek singing with clean vocals while the guitar wails in the background, sounding almost like an engine revving up. I think I know which song you're talking about. And yes, we are going to finish those. So 2015 would be between Strangers Only and Unreal, and we were writing during that whole time, and so there's like roughly about an album's worth of material, maybe like 8 or 9 songs, so like, I mean, an album, but a short one, where it was after Strangers Only, but you know, we kept writing, and then those were all just demos that we recorded ourselves. I recorded those at home. That was me kind of like my first you know, getting my feet wet with the recording process, but it was cool, man. We were doing it like live drums. Everything was mic'd up. We had the kit mic'd up in the rehearsal room, live amps, and I still have all the stems from those sessions. So we so funny you mentioned it, because we are planning to release those as like the next thing that we release. So we have a bunch of songs that we're writing for what will be, you know, the next record, probably next year. And we have probably, you know, a ton of songs that we're working on for that. But we were thinking, oh, that might take a while, you know, just based upon how long it takes us to write songs these days, because we're all, you know, living separate places and this type of thing. Let's just release the demos from, you know, these past records that never came out. So the 2015, 2014, 2015 era demos will definitely come out. I just have to mix them. And I think I'll probably do it on stream, because, you know, it's like, I need more stuff to stream. And, you know, I figure like if anyone's watching, you're already like a fan of the band and everything. So you deserve to hear it first, and it'd be cool. So that's kind of my plan, is like, we'll just do it on the stream. All the guys were like, yeah, we don't care, like, go for it, have fun. So it's like, well, if I'm going to be sitting at my computer anyways, you know, working on the mix, we may as well do it on the stream. So that's probably what we'll do. And yeah, those will be the next thing probably that we release for MTH. Cause like I messed with it a couple days ago, actually. Like, just I have like all my backup hard drives from, you know, back in the day that have the stems on it, and so I copied those over and like just put them into just like put them into a Pro Tool session. Just, all right, let me kind of like lay some of this stuff down and, you know, see what it sounds like raw and how much work I have to fucking do. And it's gonna be a little bit of work, but I think it'll be fun. And you know, I think it's good for me because I haven't had a lot of practice mixing since the last MTH record. You know, that was kind of like the first thing that I had mixed in a while. And, you know, now that I'm working on this headcave stuff, I'm working on these mixes. And so working on the MTH mixes, I think at the same time, you know, I think it'll just make me better. And they're a little bit different styles too. So yeah, all good things. So I think it's a win-win for us to release that stuff. Yeah, For All the Flies is from that era. So that's the song I was actually messing with when I kind of like, you know, brought it into Pro Tools. So That's one of the demos that'll be on there. All right, cool. Let's listen to this little screamy section here.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So we can hear my voice in the static. So go and say.
Sweet. I think what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna take this track into one of my background tracks. It's a little too loud. Let's try it in this one.
You want it to be. So we can hear my voice in the static. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
I think I liked it better in this one. I'm just gonna turn it down a little bit here.
To your mind, but only if you want it to be. So we can hear my voice in the static. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
And then we have more screams in the gap. Let's hear these. Let's do this one right here.
You'll barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my fears about the victim. Are you cutting up you're a slave to your mind, but
Yeah, let's do purple.
finally face my fears about the victim. Are you cutting up you're a slave to your mind, but in the sea. Finally face my fears about the victim. Are you cutting up you're a slave to your mind, in the sea. Finally face my fears about the victim. Are you cutting up you're a slave to your mind, but only if you. Finally face my fears about the victim. Are you cutting up you're a slave to your mind. Finally face my fears about the victim. Are you cutting up you're a slave to your mind.
Cool. I like the last two the best. I think to switch it up. Do I want to have these stereo stacked? Let's find out. Oh, I fucking moved them. Let's see.
You'll barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my
Whoops. Get him on time, buddy. Come on.
drop in the sea. You're a slave to your.
Okay, obviously they're too quiet. Let's just put them in this track.
Finally face my fears about the victim. Are you cutting up you're a slave to your mind, but only if you.
All right, what's sweet actually is that I don't actually think there's anything else in this track right here, so I can I'm gonna mess with this just for a sec. I think I want a little distortion on this guy. Look how many fucking plugins, man. This is so annoying where like stuff just comes with all these plugins and then you get all these bundles and shit and you're like, half this stuff I don't even want to see, let alone like, do I need in a giant menu? I need to clean this up. There's like a way you can clean up your unused plugins, so I'm gonna work on that. So let's just try like a tape saturation. Let's hear what this sounds like. Make a little loop.
Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static?
Good start.
Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static? Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static? Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static?
That sounds cool.
Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static?
I kind of just want to roll the high end off a little bit.
Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static?
Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, now we gotta bring the volume back up just a touch.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static? So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my fears about the victim. Are you trying to? You're a slave to your mind, but only if you.
And then another thing that I kind of like to do for these backgrounds is to have them panning, and you can go in and do that by hand, but I kind of like to use this this auto pan plugin, and I think this is a Pro Tools like stock plugin, but I always really liked oh, we're about to get ads in a sec. Okay, hang on. All right, I have 1 minute. I always really liked in like if you ever listen to like older like Hendrix stuff, or even someone like the Beatles stuff, where there's like, bro, they were just going crazy with their panning. Like you'd have a whole drum kit and only one ear and everything else on the other side, you know? And I always thought it was really cool where you'd have like a guitar solo or something like that, and they're just like, dude, they're just fucking going wild with the panning. And some of it's like, you know, egregious, but it was like panning was this new thing when stereo came out, and so you could have, you know, like these speakers on opposite sides of the room, and it was, you know, this crazy, you know, trippy thing to have it panning around. So I always thought that was really cool, and I like to do that with vocals sometimes, where like say it's like a background or an ad lib, to have it like, you know, panning across, or like going from left to right, or sometimes even like this, or sometimes like just in the middle, but only like subtly panning, and it makes it like harder for your ear to grab onto, and makes it feel like more of like a layer rather than like a, you know, just a vocal that you're like locked in on. So ads are about to play. I'm gonna mess with the panning a little bit, and then you'll hear it when we come back. All right, let's go. Let's listen to this with the panner.
But only if you want it to be. Wanna get out my voice in the static. So go and say what
See, that already sounds cool to me.
you barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my fears and what the tech time. Are you trying to You're a slave to your mind, but only if you.
It just makes it feel like way more chaotic, and I like the thought of like, it feels like there's some guy in the background running around the studio. Like I kind of want it to feel like I even did some of these takes where like instead of screaming into the mic, I was like just screaming into the room. And I love those sorts of like moments and stuff where it sounds like, you know, the singer is just like freaking out, like off of the mic, like away from the mic, because the song is so intense or whatever. So that's kind of the feeling I'm trying to emulate with these kind of like ad libs between the singing. Let me unmute this real quick. Okay, let's play the red one.
If you want it to be, but you gotta taste it now, you're in it. So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
Oops, sorry.
It's to be, but you gotta taste it now, you're in it. So go and say what you like. But you gotta taste it now, you're in it. So be, but you gotta taste it now, you're in it.
I think I like the gold one. Sweetie.
Finally face my fears and what the victim. Are you getting a picture? Finally face my fears and what the victim. Are you getting a picture? Finally face my fears and what the victim. Are you getting a picture? Finally face my fears and what the victim. Are you getting a picture? Finally face my fears and what the victim. Are you getting a picture?
All right. I'm just gonna chop these. I feel like them hanging over the one is less heavy. Oh, I don't know if this is gonna work. That's kind of sick. Yeah, I like that one. Cool. All right, let's do this. This. back up. Let's go in here. All right, ads are back. We love it. We love it. Okay, let's go. Skoro Bahatko says, clever idea having Lord of the Rings in the background. You're the second person to notice. We got Fellowship on right now. And I was joking about how, you know, I always like to have movies on while I'm, you know, if I'm working on the computer or whatever. But when I'm streaming, I gotta think carefully about what I'll hit, you know, what I'll have on the TV, because, you know, all the shit that I'm watching is like HBO or, you know, Apple TV, and it's the unrated version and shit. And so they'll just be like, you know, sex scenes or nudity or whatever. And I'm like, I'll be here telling some story, you know, like talking about the song that I'm working on, and there's just, you know, fucking inappropriate stuff in the background. So it's pretty funny. All right. So if you're back from the ads, all I was doing was just going through these screams and these gaps a little bit. And we threw, we got a little distortion on here, and we have this auto pan plugin that I think really makes the ad lib feel more like an ad lib, and rather than just like a, you know, another vocal that comes in. So let's listen to this. If I unsolo, okay.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. Have a voice in the static. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my sins with the sector. Or you try to get the You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. But you gotta take it now, you're an addict. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Thank you, Skoro. My bad. Sorry. I switched to the other scene when I'm talking, and then I forgot to switch back. Thank you for catching me. All right, so I was flipping between these two different tape modes. They just affect the high end a little bit. I thought the high end rolling off was cool, but it was getting a little lost. So let's play this one more time.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. Have a voice in the static. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my fears with the sector. Or you try to You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. But you gotta taste it now, you're an addict. So go
Okay, so we got to do our delay here, right? So this one.
But you gotta taste it now, you're an addict!
So we want addict. So I'm gonna just do my. I think the copy paste method works really well for these types of delays, because you could dial in a throw, which I've definitely done many times. But something about this being able to copy and like just put it exactly where you want it is pretty cool. And something I'll experiment, you know, probably after this stream, is mixing a delay throw with, you know, a hard copy like this. And, you know, I have these background channels where each of these are panned, right? So like this top layer is panned left, this hard layer is panned right. So you get the natural sort of ping pong. So you get this effect like this.
But you gotta taste it now, you're an addict!
And what's cool about it is, you like, because you're copy pasting, you don't have to worry about any sort of like decay rate, right? You can literally just go, I want 3 delays, 1, 2, 3. They're all you can go in and like, so sometimes what I'll do is like automate the volume. So like maybe if I want, you know, them to sort of like drop down as they go. But for now, I actually think I want it to be, you know, this like delay that's consistent, and then when the singing comes back in, it just cuts off harsh. Squirrel says, I like your music and production quality. Is your band commercially successful? Probably not. We are Well, so this is a new project. So Headcave is the name of this band, and it's just me and a friend of mine who lives here in Orange County. And we're still in like a pretty new stage with this project. It's been a couple years, but we took a break for a couple of years, and you know, we're kind of like, it was like a side project for both of us. But to be honest, it's something that I really want to focus more on. And he and I are pretty keen to make this record, you know, really as good as it can be, and hopefully, you know, get some traction for this project and play some shows, you know, maybe a tour, who knows. But yeah, it's we've done only, I think, 3 EPs for this one, for this band, but over the course of like a couple of years. What do I do for a living currently? So I was a full-time musician for a long time, was signed to like record labels and stuff. And for like my day job, I'm a video director. So I do a lot of commercials, and music videos are like my main thing. I was doing a lot of music videos, and then have recently switched to trying to do more commercial work because the pay is just so much better, and the workload is a little bit less. But to be honest, when I first was freelance working on video, it's kind of like you take everything that you can get, man. So like I did a lot of like event, you know, content, like recap videos and stuff, highlight reels, did weddings pretty heavily for a couple years. Worked with this guy in like the Beverly Hills area. He does a lot of like the Persian Jewish weddings up there, and dude, these people, like, they spend a lot of money on these weddings, and they want the videos to be like super flashy. So it was actually pretty fun because you get to like work on like some pretty like dramatic and like pretty exciting edits. But the, you know, it was fun for a time, and it made me a way better shooter and editor, because like they're long days, man. Weddings are definitely tough. But I'm glad to kind of be phasing out of that at the moment. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Let's play this chorus from the top.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. Time to hear out my voice in the stage. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my fears and what the fact are. Are you trying to do? You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. If you're gonna taste it now, you're an addict. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my fears and what the fact are. Are you trying to lecture?
I don't know what to do with this scream at the end. You know what I'm gonna do? I have that same line from earlier in the song, because I kind of think that, like, I thought it was cool where it hangs over the one, and now I kind of feel like it's like not hitting as hard. So I have that line from earlier in the song. Let me just try to cheat this a little bit here. So like right now, like if you see like this yellow line, this is where the drop of like the new riff comes in, and it's hanging over a little bit, and I don't know, something about it like is not hitting for me right now. So let me I'll duplicate our playlist so we have him, just so we can reference. But let's see how this sounds. More of those. I think that's sick, man. Let's hear this again. Oh, maybe it needs to come back from being just a background. Maybe it needs to be like, because right now it's like floating in the background, but then I think it'd be cool if it like centered for that last line, like being a true punchline. Let's try this. different timings. Why is that off time? Do I like Bad Omens? I like some of their stuff. I haven't listened to... I think I've listened to have I listened to a full record? Super talented though. Like, fucking, that dude is a ridiculous vocalist. Really, really good live. Let's see. It's like, why is this not doing what I want it to do? Are you getting the picture? Yeah, that should be the same time. There we go. Let's try this. Yeah. The latest EP is good. I'll scope it out. I didn't know they had something new. I will definitely scope it out. Are you getting the picture? Maybe I think this one's a little lower. I'm kind of like Frankensteining stuff because I don't want to re-record anything right now. Cool. All right, y'all. Let's play. Let's run it back. Let's just run it from the top and just kind of see what sticks out. Oh, actually, wait. I gotta swap out. So if you'll see, there's these screams right here with like these crazy crossfades and stuff. I want to have like this big scream at the beginning, and I did it the other day, and I was like, it was okay. I think I can beat it. So I'm trying to think of actually which one is the good one. And I'm just crossfading between takes because like I want the pitch to like fall a certain way. And sometimes it'll be like, oh, I like the start of this one and ending of that one. So it's a little janky, but to be honest, with how much like distortion and stuff I like on this scream, I feel like it'll be all right. So we're gonna hear how this sounds. Hannah Blood says, how many vocals do I usually layer per session? When do you determine if the parts need more layers or if the mix will handle the rest? Well, as far as like if stuff needs more layers, that's I try not. Well, I guess sometimes it is from a mix sense, and sometimes it is from a songwriting sense. I think Headcave is a little bit more on the maximalist side of things as far as vocals go. Like I definitely am approaching this from the sense of like, oh, I just want to make the song sound as cool as possible, and I'm not that worried about you know, if this vocal overlaps this vocal, or could you sing that in one breath or whatever. I'm kind of the mind of like, you know, if and when we play these songs live, that's a future Nick problem. I'll worry about that when I get to it. And my rationale there is if the songs do well enough that we are, you know, justifying playing a show and people are there and want to see us, then the songwriting choices that I made to get to that point were correct. And, you know, I'll worry about how I'm going to do the vocals in one take when I have to worry about that. And hopefully, you know, we will get, you know, have people who can do backup vocals and kind of trade off with me and stuff. Cause I feel like, especially with, you know, how I've approached vocals in the past, it's just literally a necessity because I'm definitely guilty, I think, of overwriting and kind of like putting too many vocals on the song. So that's actually something that in the back of my mind currently, I'm trying to stay a little bit more reserved on and try to go a little bit more for like, not quality over quantity, but just really sit and think like, does this part need a vocal, or can I just let the song, you know, be what it is? So as far as like how many vocal tracks, I have, let's see, from this one, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 sort of lead vocal tracks. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of harmony tracks, like backing tracks that are hard panned left and right. So usually those are stacks of the same vocal on each side, left and right. And then I have 3 sort of like ad-lib tracks that are down here at the center. So these C1, C2, C3, and those are for like effects vocals or like a distortion channel or you know, anything like that. So like what we're about to do right now, where I want this intro vocal to have some extra distortion and some extra effects on it and stuff. So let me just fly this up and kind of see how it sounds. I'm gonna run it back to the top too, because I want to feel how this comes in. All right, that's one option. Let's try this one. It goes. That one's a little higher. That might be heavier. Let me play it again. Cool. So that has a bunch of shit on it, right? Like I threw a bunch of distortion on it, this big sort of delay throw. You know, it's really fucking over the top. But I think it's cool. So like if you play from the start of the track.
You want to keep tricking, or you want to start pimping? Let's go back to the other one. Oh wait, fuck, where'd it go? Hold up. The power of undo. Where did you fucking go? What the hell? Oh, I screwed up, guys. I'm sure I have it in here somewhere. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I'm not sure which one. Like one of them, this one is a little bit more voicey. The other one goes a little bit higher. Let's find out. Dude, that's kind of sick. It might be that one. Also, just for the record, the scream is roughly the whole thing. I just wanted to mix 2 different versions here. I'm gonna let it play for a sec.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static? A flat line in my brain. I don't really mean to sound dramatic. Come say that shit to my face. You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
Little pitchy there, but I'll fix that. Sorry, I just want to turn these down a little bit. I don't even know
know if I want them, to be honest, but let's just try. Usually when I find myself like turning something down to the point where it's not there, it's like, should I just mute it? Let's see. Squirrel said, are you mixing the songs yourself or are you hiring a mix engineer? I think I'm gonna mix them myself, because we're, like I said, man, we're like bedroom band, really, you know what I mean? So there's any money that goes into it is all just from our own pocket. And you know, I kind of like, I don't want to say I'm a control freak, but like I like the idea of like, if I can improve our mix and get to a point where we've got like a sick you know, foundation or a template that we can use on future songs, that's pretty fucking sweet, you know what I mean? So that was kind of my approach with the My Ticket Home record as well, of like, you know, I got friends and, you know, people who are great producers that I thought about hitting up to ask for a mix. And, you know, obviously the financial side of it is, you know, a big part of that decision, but the main reason was like, man, once I do it, you know, I have those sessions, I have these templates, you know, I have these techniques or, you know, these settings that we know, you know, work for our band. So I think, you know, I think we're going to do it ourselves. We've mixed all the other ones ourselves. So I think if I can step my game up and, you know, get something where Nick and I are really happy with it, then that's my first, you know, plan of action. Let's put it that way. All right, let's hear this little, I'm going to play the chorus actually. Let's go from the chorus.
Line in my brain, I don't really mean to sound dramatic. Come see the shit to my face. You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
I'm gonna try muting the harmony on the first "Slave to Your Mind" bit where there's no drums.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
That's better.
So go and say what you like. Your belly make a drop in the sea. Fix my fears and I'm standing as a victor. We're getting a picture.
Oh, that came out cool, man. These little background swells. with this flanger right here, dude, it sounds ridiculous. Oh, it's funny. You said guitars sound good, they're too loud. I think the vocals are maybe just a little bit tucked. It's hard for me to guess how this sounds on streaming because I have to do a loop back. Like I said, I only have one. I'm doing all the audio and video streaming from one PC, which like normally people have two different computers. They have like one for the audio and one for the video. So I have to send, you know, a line output from the interface, then back into the computer. And so it's like, it's not, what I'm hearing is a little bit different than what y'all are hearing. I tried to get it as close as I could. But you could be right. We'll find out. Mainly I'm just trying to make sure I'm happy roughly with like all the stuff that I wrote. This definitely is not final mix territory yet. Okay, let's go from this bit. I think that drum fill is gonna get some love too. It's fine, but it needs like this is straight up like an instrumental break. Like it's like a little mini, you know, drum solo. I think like it should. I think we can step that part up a little bit. But like I said, this is just me taking Nick's initial foundation of him writing this song and then putting my first pass on it. And then once I send this to him, like say after I'm done with this stream, if I'm happy with this, I'll do
like a full bounce of the song with my vocals on top of the instruments. I'll send it to him like as my mix and be like, hey, this is my idea, tell me what you think. But I'll also send him a vocals only pass of everything so that he can import that into his session, and then if and when we want to make production changes, he has all the stems and we can chop stuff really easily. So this is definitely still like a, you know, not the finish line by any means from this session here. So here we go.
I'm the words your voice should not speak. I'm the truth your eyes should not see. Anyone trying to fail, still standing as a victor. Are you getting the picture? You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea.
Cool. So there's a little bit of pitchiness in the chorus, but I'll fuck with that later. Overall, I'm happy with all the layers and the ideas and stuff. So here's the bridge. That's not right. Hold up. What happened to you? These just got moved. Because these are supposed to be, I think, on the one. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Thank you, Scora. Appreciate that, man. I am stoked. I think it's a good path that we're walking down. Oh, this got moved too. What is happening here?
This life is so pathetic.
I don't know if the loan's gonna stay. We'll find out.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
All right, so something like I just noticed there, because we're playing into it, like this vocal actually feels a little bit rushed. So let's push this back a touch.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. You're a slave to your mind.
So here, like on that background, like because you have this auto pan thing, it just makes it feel like there's more fucking chaos happening than there really is. Like it has this, like I visualize, it literally sounds like I'm running around the studio just fucking like screaming at people, you know?
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like.
Score, I'll bump the vocals up for you, brother. I got you.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. Finally face my fears and let the track down. Are you getting the picture?
Oh, those are funny. Cool, man. I think that's like, so
this is usually my process, right? Like go through and touch like each little section while it's in the focus of your mind of like, all right, I'm working on this section, and then you have to play the whole song, right? Like you have to be able to zoom out, and you need context. The same thing happens in video editing all the time. You'll be like zoomed in on a section, fucking with it, and then think that you have it just right, and then you'll play it from maybe 10 seconds ahead and it'll sound fine. But then when you listen to the whole song and you're going on the journey, the way the listener's supposed to, you've forgotten everything that you did, and you're just like letting yourself just listen, kind of almost like turn your brain off and just let like your subconscious tell you if stuff's feeling right or if it's feeling wrong. Good job, Nick. Unmute/unmute. I'm not muted right now. I hope you guys can fucking hear me. So like just giving yourself like context to play it and see what's working. But overall, I think all my ideas made sense or came out roughly the way they were in my head. So I think like this is probably the stage where I would take a break for a sec, go eat something, go for a walk, and then give it one more listen, and then I'll probably bounce it and send it to Nick and make sure he likes it. Ruggeda said, kind of like if you say a word over and over, it stops making sense and stops being a word. It's 1,000% it. It's super easy to get like, laser focused, like zoned in on, whatever the thing is that you're working on. And then sometimes you'll be like fucking obsessing over a detail that's this big where it, it flies by in the song and you don't even hear, what you were obsessed with, a minute ago. But then sometimes you're like, oh, that was the right choice, and it makes the song better. So Scoro, is there any synths in this track? No, brother, it's all just guitar and bass. And I think what's like okay, well, sort of, I guess I technically sort of lied. We do a sub stack in the choruses. So depending on what you're listening to this on, you may or may not hear this. Like if you're just on laptop speakers or your phone, you definitely won't. But if you're on headphones or like any type of studio monitors, you might. But Nick has been doing this thing where he'll stack like almost like an 808, like a sub synth underneath the chord progressions of like the bass on like the choruses typically. So I'll play this and tell me if you can hear this. So this is in the chorus. Dude, I can barely hear it. It's like, it's really low. Oh, but then certain notes pop up. Yeah, I don't know if you'll hear that on AirPods. But that's just like a little bit of like low sub to enforce the bass. But no synths, nothing like that. We're not a like electronic elements type band. I think one of the like coolest things about Headcave and how Nick writes is he very much writes everything as one guitar. So like something you'll notice that I think is actually like kind of a little bit of a signature for this project is there's only ever one guitar happening. I mean, he double tracks it left and right, but he's never stacking a rhythm part onto a lead part. He very much writes it from a single guitar, three-piece sort of perspective. And I feel like as a heavy band, that's pretty cool because, you know, the standard is two guitars and then you can mix and match layers and stuff. But there's a clarity that comes from only having one guitar part happening. And so like you can see all these green tracks are the guitar tracks, and yeah, they're all stacked left and right, and there are two of them, and occasionally, you know, we'll mute one or just drop down to a single track or anything like that. But like basically he's doing the opposite of what I'm doing vocally. I'm fucking adding layers and all sorts of ridiculous, you know, background vocals, and, you know, definitely doing more than one person could ever sing, you know, if you were doing this live. But he's playing it like there's different tones and there's different stuff, and yeah, he does different takes, right? But it's all, you know, one part, if that makes sense, throughout the whole song. So yeah, very cool. Let's see. Jermog, greetings from Argentina. What's up? How are you, man? That is super cool. Man or girl, depending on who you are. Thank you so much for joining. Argentina, that's crazy. Roll Paul said, I heard the editors and audio engineers sometimes love to work at night, but love their work at night, but wake up the next morning, listen to it again, and it's complete trash. That is an extremely common phenomenon. It is kind of like scientifically based, actually. So typically from the like the people that I've heard talk about it is you are a little bit more logical and analytical in the mornings, and you're a little bit more emotional and like sensitive in the evenings. And so I think a lot of that is obviously due to people's routine and like what they're up to, but it is kind of it's a very common thing of like, you're working on a track, whether or not, you're sober or, just whatever the mood is. And then you wake up the next morning and, the mood is completely cold, right? It's a fresh day. It's a brand new day. There's maybe no excitement, in the air. People are tired or whatever. And then you play your song or whatever you worked on, and it's just like, it's ice cold, right? You're hearing it for what it is. And usually, a good sign is if you play it the next morning and it still feels good. That's usually the toughest audience is yourself at 6 a.m. especially for like a metal track, when you're like, man, I haven't even had my coffee yet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in the mood for this. But if it sounds good in the morning, you're like, man, I did a good job. Suki, don't worry, I don't think I'm gonna fuck with it. I'll leave it alone. I think it sounds good too. Nickel said mixed master stream. I think so. I think I will probably focus on recording vocals for the next two songs before I go through and like really try to dial in a 100% final one. But yeah, I'm down. I'm super down. Ruggeda said it's kind of surprising the initial riff in Undivine. I thought it had some synth in it. No, I don't think so. I don't think we've ever done any sort of keys. Occasionally I will like throw in like some maybe like some samples here and there of like I know at the end of one song there's like a drum beat that like I took from like a Nine Inch Nails song and like fucked with it. And I don't think so, man. Nick has a lot of really, cool ways that he can make a guitar sound like other stuff. Okay. I think I know the song that you're talking about. And I'm trying to think of the part that you're talking about, but I think, yeah, man, everything is just guitar. But he just has some crazy effects, dude. Like he used to have this giant pedal board with all these different sorts of stuff. And now I think he's all quad cortex in the box. But yeah, he's pretty versatile with his guitar sounds. All right, let me look. We have 20 minutes till the ads. Yeah, he uses the whammy pedal a lot. I know he used an EBO on one of the songs, and you get that really cool sustained type of thing. If you've never used one of those, the EBO is really cool. It uses like magnetics to make the string vibrate, so it's like you get this kind of like violin sound out of the guitar. It's really, really cool. But all right, y'all, it is 7 o'clock my time. I have to be somewhere at 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna wrap the stream up here. Yes, that's the one with the blue light. It's exactly that. It's if you've never messed with one, it's really cool. But if you got any other questions, let me know super fast. Otherwise, I'll probably play this track one more time and take off. But yeah, like I said, really enjoying doing these streams and getting back, to focusing on music and stuff. So, like I said, we got the booth close to being set up. I got to do a couple more things in there. I'm still trying to make sure that all the audio is solid, because I don't want to stress about it while I'm trying to, fucking scream my head off and hope that the stream's doing okay. What state are you from? It's 7 here in Washington. I am from Ohio, but I live in Long Beach, California right now. So we're in the same time zone, man. Washington's beautiful, by the way. My dad and I just did a motorcycle trip, and we didn't make it all the way to Washington. We made it like we went all the way up the California coast, almost to Washington, and then turned around and rode back. But I was like researching some of the different roads and stuff that we wanted to try to get to, and man, dude, southwest coast of Washington, like the 101 up there is just like looks like absolute fucking heaven. It's such a beautiful place. Suki said, will I edit another of the tracks live? Yes, absolutely. My goal is to to be streaming as much of this stuff as I can. It slows the process down a little bit, of course, because like I want to be considerate and chatting to people and stuff, and I think it slows the recording process down as well. But I'm kind of thinking of it like how I think of the gym, where it's like most of the time it's nice to just go work out by yourself and focus on what you're doing, but sometimes it's really fun to have a training partner, or like get a workout in with a friend. And the workouts take 3 to 4 times as long, but they're really fun, and you get to you get to push yourself, and you get to joke around with each other. And that's kind of how I think of these streams, where it's like, all right, could I have done this twice as fast if I was just sitting here doing it? But it's more fun, I think, to like share it and connect with people and such. So I'm glad you all like it. Provides a cool insight for sure. I assume it gives you some fresh eyes for feedback and stuff. Yeah, it really does too. Like I will say, there is like a noticeable difference where, like, if I'm listening to this and I know people can hear it, I don't want to say that I'm more critical, but I am, right? It's like, if any of you guys are musicians, anytime you're working on a track and you get it to a point and then you're like, oh, I'm going to play it for somebody, and then you show it to them, you just hear all the flaws, because you're like, I don't know, your self-defense like mechanism goes off, and you're like, oh my God, can they hear that vocal was off or whatever, you know what I mean? So I will say that doing this stuff on stream, I think does like it makes you like a little bit better. And I think vocally, like if I'm actually tracking, I think it'll be the same exact type of thing where like, sometimes you'll be working on a part and you'll be kind of half-assing it, and I don't know, you'll be trying it, but you're not like really fucking giving your all. And I think something about knowing that like, bro, people are listening to you, will like kind of make you more focused. Suki said, you hear it through their ears. Yes, that's exactly true. And you can always tell if somebody likes it or not. Or usually, right? Like you'll be like, try not to stare at them, but you'll be like, is their head bobbing, which is weird because I can't see any of you. So I get none of that, but the comments and stuff are super helpful. So, all right, y'all, it's 7:00. So I think that's going to do it for today. I'll play this one more time, top to bottom. I'll probably hear a couple things, I know there's definitely some takes in the chorus that I think can be better. But overall, we have a pretty much, I think, finished demo. So I'm going to send this to Nick probably after we do the stream. All right, we'll play this vocal one more time for good luck. All right, cool. Yeah, man, thank you all so much for joining the stream. Follow, subscribe if you want to, join on the streams in the future. And yeah, man, let's let's rip it. Hope you guys have a great night. All right, peace.
You want to keep tricking, or you want to start pimping?
Come on! Sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. So tell me, can you hear my voice in the static? A flat line in my brain. I don't really mean to sound dramatic. Come say that shit to my face. You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea. I'm standing as a victor, we're getting a picture. I'm the words your voice cannot speak. I'm the truth your eyes cannot see. Anyone trying blood down, still standing as a victor, we're getting a picture. You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You barely make a drop in the sea. Till you can hear my voice in the static, a flat line in my brain. Gotta get a taste of it like an addict. Needle into my veins. So tell me, can you hear my voice in the static?